All right, to watch this video for Wednesday, Halloween, October 31st. Another day where the SPY hasn't broken a previous day's high. I think this is a ninth day in a row. Pretty big volume. It feels like, whenever we get a big green day like this, when you have an overall ugly market, it always feels like, okay, now we've bottomed. I'm not going to call any kind of bottom, and I don't care. I just log in every day with a watch list and trade A-plus intraday setups. So it was strong action, though, today. It was kind of nice to see. For those of you that weren't in chat, I'm going to throw my Amazon. I only took 3 trades and then one late day trade that I made like 80 bucks in another one. But I captured 3 of them as far as screenshots go. And the 3 trades I took were Amazon, CASI, and PTI. Amazon was just in this choppy range, and when the market seemed like, okay, it's holding up, Amazon started to get upside momentum. I called it long above this range here before it broke the high of day. I actually got filled at 1508. My arrow might be off by a little bit. And my best sell was 1535. So in this video, I get to say I made $27 a share. Do I have that right? No. Yeah, $27 a share on some shares. And I'm saying that because I've never gotten to say that before. I almost never try. I like the small caps, almost never trade stuff like Amazon, but it was really cool making $27 a share over the course of like 15 or 20 minutes. You see total, I made $744 on Amazon, 125 on CASI, and PTI, a big 60 bucks, and like another 80 on another stock later in the day. Those are all my trades for the day. And it was a decent day. There were several in chat called that I didn't take. And I also want to highlight this real quick because I can't not show this. Facebook reported in after hours. And let me see if I have after hours on here. Yeah, I do. So this is after hours action. Wayne, using a method that he alone devised for trading earnings plays after hours, got long at 139 and not on the way down, but on the way back up. And he's up over 10 bucks. He was actually, up over 11 bucks a share at one point. And who knows what it's going to do. It may keep going, but what a great grab. And like I said, he devised that method, and he kind of hangs out sometimes in chat after hours and play some of those earnings plays. But anyway, let me get back to the, and real quick, I'll show you the other 2 trades I took. This was that CASI where you see I only made 125 on it, but I just called it over this little flag. It was already on the overnight list due to the chart, and a nice tight flag to go long and stop right down there, and got a decent little move. I didn't, I wasn't trading with size, but added 125 to my day, and then PTI was the other one. Which is a squinky trader, but I just called it long as an opening range breakout right there. Here's the opening range. I thought it was interesting that it took out the low of day here. Here's the opening 5-minute candle. I thought it was interesting that it took out the low of day, and next thing you know, it's back up into the range, and now it's breaking the high of day. I thought maybe you got some shorts caught on that. It didn't go up very much before rolling back over. It's a terrible trader, but I eked out 60 bucks out of that. So anyway, what are we watching for tomorrow? Okay, I will admit this SOLO is not a pretty chart. It gapped up on massive volume, over 20 million shares. And when you look at the day before the 20 million shares, it traded 17,000 shares all day. So it'll tell you how thin it was. And it popped up, rolled over. And anyway, this got going on, I think they make electric cars. Got going on their orders or number of orders or amount of backlog in their orders, whatever. I'd never heard of this thing before, and probably because look at the volume. It never trades any kind of volume. But now, after hitting an intraday high on the gap up day of 748, it's all the way back down, more than cut in half to 331. 2 ways to look at this. One, I certainly think it's due for a bounce, but 2, everybody who's long from the past 2 days is underwater. So that's the quintessential definition of overhead resistance. So keep that in mind. But if I get a low risk setup, it might be worth a shot. Certainly not in love with that. And speaking of, kind of recent low flow crazy stocks, this PLAG, I wanted to put this on watch just because it did hit the 20-day, hit the 200-day. It only traded 287,000 shares. And, like a week ago, it went from 285 to 1151. I'm pretty sure nobody knew why, but it's still worth watching. Wayne's popping up his sell in chat now. He sold at 149.03. So $10.03 on Facebook. I don't know how many shares he had. Hope for his sake he had a few thousand, but I'm pretty sure he trades them rationally position size wise. But think about this: 100 shares made you $1,000 in after hours. So what a great trade. He's good at those. He's really good at those. All right. Anyway, PLAG. So I'm just gonna have this on bounce watch. I'm not in love with it either. AGRX had this kind of straight sideways holding after the big pop, holding the 20-day and then curling back up today on a little bit of extra volume. That one may be ready to make a run at $1. And if it gets through $1, maybe an inflection point propels it even higher. Whole number $1 being an inflection point. So depends on what it looks like if and when it gets there. CGC, a couple of these pot stocks on watch. I talked about this getting to the 200-day today, that I would really like it. It didn't quite get there. A lot of them gapped up and just ran right from the open. So now we've got a green day on a really beaten up stock. Keep in mind, a couple weeks ago, this was almost 60. So I do want to watch that. It bounced today. I want to watch it for a follow through of today's bounce tomorrow. Same thing with PYX, much more narrow range and a tricky trader, but absolutely worth watching. I believe they're a tobacco company. I think they're the old AOI, if I'm not mistaken. And now they're cleared and doing pot as well. Do your own research, because I don't research companies. I'm a trader. But I do kind of like to know a little bit about what's moving a stock. So there was the extent of my entire knowledge on PYX. I still think, it came down, almost hit the 200-day, kind of a narrow range. I think that's, especially if the pot stocks get moving, that's a great candidate for a big snapback bounce. Dry Ships was actually pretty strong today. They had earnings and actually came up and I think briefly broke this high from a little over a week ago. Nice volume and closed fairly strong. So I'm going to keep an eye on Dry Ships tomorrow and all the shippers that we've been trading lately. SINO, I actually like the chart on. So there's a baby shipper that I'm definitely going to watch. You had this pop back here, then a lower high. Now today, a nice inside day. So if the shippers get moving, this is one of my preferred shipper charts from all of them that I looked at. I'll keep my eyes on all of them though. Amazon, I'm going to watch again. I just talked about the trade. I called in it today. It did close fairly strong. And of course, in after hours, it's trading over 1542. But we'll see. You never know how it's going to open tomorrow. In this crazy environment, you can't predict where the SPY or anything's going to open the next day, right? Netflix, another one, just like Amazon. Old Wall Street darling, just really decimated and closed green. I'm going to watch for a follow through of today's bounce tomorrow. And then DXR. Really strong pop today and actually held up pretty darn well. This is the other one I traded today that I made like 60 or 80 bucks. I'm not sure which. But I watched it trade a lot and it is very whippy. It's a little bit interesting to me in after hours, but over 9. Let me see. I don't have after hours on here. I don't think. I thought I turned it off, but I don't. I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, it's a little bit interesting to me over 9 and after hours, but I've had a good day and I'm not going to hang around. But sometimes these stocks that close strong like this get some short covering in after hours. It wouldn't surprise me to see this up over 10 or 11 at some point in after hours. It doesn't mean it's going to open there tomorrow. It might open at 5. They might do an offering or whatever else too. So you always want to be careful with stuff like this. But that's all I've got. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Trading was really, really good today. Teamwork and chat was fantastic. Wayne, if you're watching this video, I know you say you watch them every night. One hell of a trade on Facebook, man. Congratulations. That was beautiful. If you're not a member of the chat room, check that link down below. You can get it in our chat room now for $79, which we've never done before. So check that out. And I'm done babbling. Enjoy your night.